What is up, everyone? I am Ryan Garcia. Yankees in on Freddie Peralta, Cody Bellinger. Rumor going out there about a 5-year offer. We've got a lot to talk about here on this show. The Yankees have a lot going on. They might be the interest kings, but we'll see. Freddie Peralta, Mackenzie Gore, Michael Kopech. All of that and more right here on Fireside Yankees. Let's talk about first kind of the big story from The Athletic, and that is the fact that the New York Yankees are interested in right-handed starting pitcher Freddie Peralta. Now, Freddie Peralta has been one of the best starting pitchers in all of baseball. And if you're here, make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Check out Fireside Yankees. Comment, let's go Yankees in the chat here. Let's get this party started, baby. Let's get this party started. I'm going to be a little more mundane. I got some tea next to me. A week ago, the Milwaukee Brewers expressed interest in Freddie Peralta, viewed the interest in right-handed pitcher Freddie Peralta as significant enough for them to consider cracking the door open for trade discussions. The Brewers left the door ajar at the winter meetings, and naturally, teams came barging through. The Baltimore Orioles, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, San Francisco Giants, and Houston Astros are among the teams in on Peralta, according to people familiar with the Brewers' discussions. Now, the New York Yankees being involved here is something I think is significant because the Yankees want starting pitching. We've talked about the Yankees being a team into the pitching market. I've talked time and time again, almost ad nauseum, about the Yankees being more focused on run prevention, more concerned with run prevention, things of that nature. The Yankees want run prevention. They want run prevention. They want to be a better team at run prevention. It is an issue they had throughout the 2025 season. And let's see what we see with the Yankees here. Freddie Peralta, obviously one of the best starting pitchers in the National League. And this is a fair concern. I want to bring this up first and foremost. Let's actually talk about the cons. Let's talk about the cons first. Share tabs here because I think it's an important thing to talk about. Zoom in a little bit. Bang. Oh, okay. First time through the order, second time through the order, third time through the order. Now, third time through the order stats don't look too bad. But that strikeout to walk rate. I know the home runs come down, but that strikeout to walk rate, not great. How many starts has Peralta pitched past the 6th inning this year? 2. Into the 6th inning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. So in under half of his starts, he's pitching 6 or more innings. Now, that could be a couple of things. Number one, are the Milwaukee Brewers a team that is just so naturally used to being bullpen-oriented? They have such a strong bullpen that they're willing to pull guys early. And so that's something the Yankees might be willing to stretch him out a little bit more with, and that's for Freddie Peralta. So I do believe that when we talk about Freddie Peralta, it's definitely possible that the New York Yankees are going to be willing to push him past a little bit the inning counts that the Brewers have let him go through. So this is actually pretty cool. Playing Little League with Freddie Peralta is insane. That's awesome. I've also got a shout out, Que Lo Que. Hell yeah, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. That's a good point. Cease does have a similar issue in terms of innings pitched per start. They're very similar. And one guy got $200 million. And when we look at the New York Yankees and we look at what they're looking for, they need starting pitching. The Yankees need starting pitching. We've talked about this. I've talked about this. They need rotation help. So I do believe the Yankees and Freddie Peralta, it's a good thing that they're linked. But I also think it's a good thing if the Brewers end up trading him. And you might go, Ryan, that's only a good thing if he ends up with the Yankees. I disagree. The New York Yankees are interested in a variety of starting pitchers. In free agency, Michael King and Tatsuya Imai strike me as candidates that they like. Imai seems more likely than King. That's just my guess. As for the trade market, Freddie Peralta is a name that they're into. Mackenzie Gore, another name they're into. Sandy Alcantara is a name they were into this past deadline. So when we talk about the Yankees and what they're either A, willing to do, or B, looking to do, you need as many options available because there's going to be a lot of teams also looking for starting pitching. The Orioles want a starter. They've already done the 1-year starting pitcher trade for a starter before. They did it with Corbin Burns with the Brewers. The Red Sox are a team that's been active in the pitching market. The Giants would love the opportunity to acquire a cheap starting pitcher because we've seen the reports that they're not really interested in paying top of the market money for a starter. So even if you don't end up with Peralta, if the other guys on the board remain available, you need to do you have more options to pivot to, and you've got more suitors who come down with it. You know that the Giants aren't willing to swim in the waters you're willing to swim in for Imai, but you also know the Cubs are willing to swim in those waters. But the Cubs aren't linked to Freddie Peralta. Probably not going to get an in-division trade done. So you kind of start mapping these things out. Enough suitors go down, you should be either A, the team with the most money, or B, with the team with the most prospect or trade capital. Because the Yankees have a good amount of trade capital, and they're one of the richer teams in baseball. So let's start taking some questions here. Now that we've talked about Freddie Peralta, we'll do questions here. Then we'll delve into the topic of Cody Bellinger. So let's start, and I'll start here with Colton Dawson. Hi Ryan, hope all is well. Bellinger, Peralta, Hayes, Rosario, Romero, Kopech, Keller would be a good offseason. I don't think the Yankees would add 3 relievers. That's just me personally, and I don't think they're going to add 2 bench hitters. Like, I don't think the Yankees are going to sign, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players and trade for 2. I think that they're going to maybe sign 3 players and trade for 2, maybe 4, but I think 5 might be too much. But again, you subtract Michael Kopech from this. Is that really a bad offseason? Right? Like, are we contingent? Is like the offseason being good, beholden on like Austin Hayes or Michael Kopech? We slice those 2 off. I think this is still the same kind of offseason. Now, let's keep going with the questions here, Colton. Thank you for the question, and keep sending them in. Keep sending them in. Teams won't trust Imai. I disagree. I don't agree with that. I think teams like Imai, but I don't think everyone likes Imai. I don't think everyone's willing to spend that money. Sign Tucker, trade for Peralta, McGill, and Donovan. Look, I think this would be a sick offseason for the Yankees. I think Donovan would be an unnecessary at this point if they were to bring in Tucker. I don't think that they would do both or all 4 of this. And I don't even know if they're going to go get Tucker. He could fall into their lap, but you've got to keep your options open. And for the Yankees, if you have the ability to trade for an impact starting pitcher, why not? Right? Why not? Why not? Why not? I dig it, man. I mean, look, again, you put a Dominican starting pitcher with another Dominican with a Dominican catcher. Right? What else can I say? Right? What else can I say? What else can I say? Go put a Dominican starter with a Dominican catcher. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. You got to consider how he's been pitching in the NL Central his whole career. For sure. For sure. But I don't think that's the reason why he's been good. The Yanks only on X. The Yanks. Is that, I don't know if the word I'd use is hell bent. So, okay, that's funny. Would you prefer Peralta or Ryan? I know they deny availability on Ryan. 1 year versus 2. Which do you prefer? What would the difference be in cost? I prefer Ryan, and I would pay more. I think Freddie Peralta is a better pitcher than Joe Ryan. Pound for pound. Slightly better. Now, it's close because the strikeout to walk rates for Ryan this past year were better, but I think over the last 2 or 3 years are pretty similar, and even this past year is pretty similar. We can kind of do some comparative analysis here. Let's put Joe Ryan in, and let's put Freddie Peralta in. Oh, Freddie Peralta. Okay, this past year, expected ERA, 3.47 for Peralta, 3.44 for Ryan. FIP, advantage Peralta. Expected FIP, advantage Peralta. Ryan, skill interactive ERA, advantage Ryan. Strikeout to walk rate, advantage Ryan. So I think based on on that data, this past year, Peralta might have been a better run preventer, but Ryan would you would hope that Ryan is better next year, but the same age. The year prior, higher strikeout to walk rate, again, goes to Ryan. Ryan was better than Peralta was the year prior. What about 2023? Hey, again, kind of a third straight year with better underlying, but not the better ERA. Let's take the overall body of work here. I think that you would hope that Ryan, you would expect Peralta to be outpitched by Joe Ryan. But the thing that I'm a little bit concerned about here is this. Batted ball data, higher hard hit rate. Ryan gets tagged a lot more. If you look at the batted ball data, I know it's similar fly ball rates for these two, but it's a little bit lower for Peralta. The pull rate is higher for Ryan. So I would look at these guys as pretty much a toss-up. Even though the ERA gap is significant, I would consider it a toss-up. And at that, for the price point, look, if Ryan is available for Will Warren, Jason Dominguez, and Ben Hess, let's say, I would rather trade for Joe Ryan because I'm not sure the the price for the price for someone like a Freddie Peralta would be too much lower. Now, this is something that does intrigue me. I think there's more compatibility with a combo deal with the Brewers than there is with the Twins. They might go Byron Buxton. For sure. I don't know if that's likely, but for sure. I think that you're more likely to get someone such as McGill alongside Peralta than you would be to get someone like Buxton next to Ryan. And I think this is the kind of deal I'd be the most into. Because if we look at Peralta and McGill, those are two big fastball pitchers, strikeout pitchers, pitchers who make your team better, pitchers who make your roster better, players who increase the floor and the ceiling of your group. Sorry, I'm nursing a pretty sore throat here. Pause. Shout out Nancy Reagan. So look, the guys that the Yankees are into have not gone. The guys the Yankees are into have not gone. And until they go, I'm not pressing that panic button. When they go, if they're not on the Yankees, I'll press the panic button. When they go, if they are the Yankees, I'll be very happy. I'm not telling you that the New York Yankees are going to get these players. I'm just telling you they're interested in these players. And I'm also telling you that if the New York Yankees were to get some of the players they're interested in, they would have a pretty strong roster. Let's move on to the next question. We need to go get Imai. Look, I don't know if this is something that will rub people the wrong way. I hope I'm not coming off as saying I just want the new guy, the guy who's the most active on that day in terms of rumors. Whether it's Tatsuya Imai, Michael King, Freddie Peralta, Mackenzie Gore, or Sandy Alcantara, those are five guys that put on the same level. I have Cabrera a step behind, and I have Keller on a similar level as Cabrera. Cabrera has more upside than Keller, but the injury history really scares me. Now, these five pitchers, if the Yankees were to land any of those five pitchers, I would generate a similar reaction, and I think they'd have a similar level of impact for the New York Yankees. Now, we'll see if that ends up being the case. We'll see if the Yankees can end up with any of those five pitchers. We'll see if all five of those guys end up moving. Imai obviously would have to sign. King obviously has to sign. But the other three are trade players. They don't have to be traded. I think, though, that if the Yankees were to land any of those five guys, it would be a big upgrade for their rotation. Easily Tucker. He's the better player, and you can go trade for a pitcher. Easily Tucker. There's no alternative that's close for Tucker. You don't know that. We'll see. It does matter who they're interested in, I think. All right, if you want a new GM, okay. That'd be pretty funny. I don't think they're going to, obviously, they're not going to sign him, but that'd be really funny. So the guy the Yankees picked up in the Rule 5 draft was Winquest. Winquest is his last name. I'm good, better at last names than I am with first names. Sorry, guys. Winquest is a hard-throwing right-hander. Cade Winquest, sorry. He's a hard-throwing right-hander, big four-seam fastball. The shape of the four-seamer isn't necessarily elite, but it's definitely a plus pitch. He's got a good feel for spinning the ball well. I think he'd be an excellent lottery ticket. I'm excited to have him in the organization. And when it comes to his upside, look, if he's not good, if he doesn't make it out of camp for the Yankees, then guess what? Guess what? The Yankees would be willing to would just have to send him back to the Cardinals, and they don't have to pay anything. There's no paying here. The Yankees don't have to pay anything. So yeah. My King, Gore, Peralta, all options with some smoke. Yeah, I think there's a good chance they get one of them. I don't know if I'd say above 50%. I don't want to assign percentages and get you guys all riled up, but I know the Yankees have real interest in all four of these players. Sandy, I don't have confirmation that they're in on him, but I know that they were in on him at the deadline. So I'm kind of assuming off that. But if Cabrera gets dealt, I would assume they're going to keep him. 5 more for the Yankees budget since we're poor now. Appreciate it, Zod. I'm sorry. Zod donates he's like, send us to the Yankees. That's hilarious. I love that. That's awesome. Let's keep it rolling. Just get Imai. Why are we making this so complicated? Because you don't know what he's going to sign for. You don't know when he's going to sign. You need to ensure that you're not ruling out outcomes or you're not waiting on one player. I would love this for the Yankees. This would be awesome. And I think Warren would be an attractive piece because he's a controllable starting pitcher. So we'll see. Oh, we talked about this. Let's keep it rolling. What are we giving up for Peralta in your professional medical opinion? Ryan Beck, my guy. I appreciate it. So I think the Yankees could trade someone like a Warren or Heel, maybe because of the fact that Peralta has 1 year of control. Maybe you can get away with dealing Heel as your like number 1 MLB starter. Elmer Rodriguez would make sense here. And then I think one of Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez. Like I think you can ship one of your young outfielders, one of your young MLB starters, and one of your minor league starters and get this deal done. I don't know. I mean, because of the lack of time between now and the end of the winter meetings, it ends tonight. I would assume no. So I'd say the likelihood is low, lower than 50%. Yeah, is that? Yeah, I'll say that. I'd predict Imai. Let me read this out, actually. If you were going to predict who the Yankees would get for a starting pitcher, who would you say? Go Imai, Peralta, Sandy. Again, I would say Imai. I would say Tatsuya Imai. Obviously, last effort, let's run it back. I think we got to slow it down with I think we got to slow it down. We got to slow it down. You got to slow it down, folks. Murakami has 12 more days to sign and no one's talking about him. I don't know where he's going. Neither do I. No idea. I want something to happen so bad. Yeah, I agree. Yo, what's up, Future? Hope you're doing well. If I was Tucker, I'd be pissed nobody wants to sign me. I would be too, John. I think Ryan's earning a big contract from FSY this offseason, maybe 5 for 100. Get it done, Alex. I do have a contract here, so, I'm here. But thank you. Maybe I'll hire as my agent. Do you think the Twitter talk about the Yankees being at 5 years and Bourne being at 7 years is legitimate or just leverage? First off, ball knower for having Garchomp as your profile picture. Secondly, my understanding here is that the Yankees want Bellinger back. That 5-year offer's not something I've heard some rumblings of that, but not like concretely. The 7-year thing I don't know of. I don't know. I don't know. All doors are open to either get Tucker or Imai. I would agree. Would you say the Yankees are just being low key? Okay, wait, let me read this again. Would you say the Yankees are just being low key, looking to pounce when able, or is there a general lack of interest, desire for the FA markets? I think the Yankees are kind of exploring a lot of things right now, and I'm not necessarily sure that the Yankees are a team that's going to be, again, blowing the doors off their payroll, but I also don't believe they're a team that's going to be willing to, I don't think they're going to strike out at all. I don't think they're going to strike out a ton in free agency. I think they're going to get a piece or two, whether that's Bellinger, whether that's Imai, maybe it's both, but I would say sign Bellinger, trade for a starter. That's my mindset, right? That's where my mindset's at, and then maybe add some relief support as well. Get Peralta, Kopech, McGill. That'd be sick for the Yankees. Ryan, what's up, Tyler? Kopech is sick. I agree. That'd be tough. Can Jorge Polanco play third base? Kind of like the same way Ahmed Rosario can play third base. He can, but he's not very good at it. Ryan, would you prefer the Yankees get Imai or Peralta? Needed to have fun. Have a great show, Ryan. Thank you, Future. For 2026, I'd say Peralta. But like long term, I might say I mean, it's tough because Peralta is so reliable and has been so effective at the MLB level. You can project Peralta pretty comfortably to be like Peralta's chances of being a number one starting pitcher, I think, are higher than Imai's, just because Imai's in year one is going to adjust to a new ball. So I think in year one, I'd rather have Peralta. Ryan and Peralta, a toss-up. That's fair. He might bite me too small in the last. I disagree. Bellinger, solid 2 or 3 starter, right-handed platoon bat, and bullpen help would be a great offseason to make the Yankees AL favorites. I think that's fair. Still here with my irresponsible prediction that Kyle Tucker signs with the Yankees. I hope you're right. Ryan plus Bucks would have me jumping for joy. I'd agree. Drew, I hope you're right. Peralta and McGill, that'd be tough. Twins ain't trading Buxton, but if they were, he would solve a lot of our problems. Right-handed, great defense, speed, clutch, etc. I agree. Eyeballs from J Fit Life. What would you think the Yankees' big signing was? What do you think if the Yankees' big signing was Amai and they played Dominguez in left field and traded for Donovan or Horner? If they landed Horner to play shortstop and kept Dominguez in left field and brought in Amai, I think it's a good team. I think it's a good team. Don't know if I'm pumped, but it's a good team. They need a left side righty infielder more than they need an outfielder. I disagree there because I think you need an outfielder badly because you just can't, whether it's a platoon guy, you need somebody. It can't go empty. Jones, ERC, Iscara, and Manny Cedeno for Peralta and McGill. I dig it. The East is getting tougher. Absolutely. Tucker, or Mike, we talked about this. I'm going to read the questions in my head before I actually do this. What do you think about Imai's comments today? Any hints he might want to be a Yankee? So let's take a quick look at the comment he did make today, and it's available here. We have it on the quote graphic here on Empire Sports Media and Fireside Yankees. With the numbers of pitchers they have, they don't need me. I think it's not specific to the Yankees. I think it's just that he's definitely not signing with the Dodgers. So maybe he wants to be a Yankee, but I wouldn't be privy to that information. It's kind of my... That's kind of my TLDR here. I expect the Yankees to trade for a pitcher, not sign one. I would agree. What do you do to have a reunion with Michael King? 2-3-year contract? And I would be okay. Well, it's definitely interesting. It's not something I'm like all in on, if that makes sense. What's the deadline to sign Imai? January 2nd. Worst winter meetings, ... ever. I don't know if it can qualify for that anymore because of the fact that Pete Alonso ended up signing with the Orioles and Edwin Diaz ended up signing on the Dodgers in the span of 2 days. Like, I think that's pretty freaking insane. What would you think the Yankees would have to give up for Donovan and Contreras? Warren, a top pitching prospect. I said Rodriguez. And I'd say like a Dominguez. Yeah. I know that's like my general trade package here, but that's like the default trade package right now for the Yankees. Realistic offseason, sign one of Bellinger or Tucker. Trade for Gore, Peralta, Cabrera, or Alcantara, one of the 4. Sign Rosario, Hayes, or Ref Snyder, one of the 3. Add a pen arm or 2 through signing and trade. I think that's the framework here, right? Sign one of your top, like if the Yankees go down the outfield route, and I would assume that would be Bellinger. You then trade for one of the starters out there. You bring in a right-handed bench bat from the free agent market. And then you were to end that off by adding a relief pitcher. It depends. What do they do in the bullpen? Do they make an addition to the outfield? Those are the things that would determine this for me. I wouldn't be thrilled. I think you just got to, you can play it safer with someone who, like I think Bellinger, the ideal goal here is Bellinger signs in my opinion, a reasonable 5-year contract with the Yankees because he's such a good defensive left fielder. He's a strong hitter for Yankee Stadium. He's better, I think, than Brandon Donovan in left field because of the defense. I think he'd immediately be better. Like I can't buy into this idea that Okamoto's gonna be better than Bellinger in year 1. Although I could be wrong. I don't think it's impossible, but I don't consider it a likely outcome. And so that's a little bit of my concern there. The Kopech stuff, yeah, I saw the report from Julian Gugliarte, former Fireside Yankees guest. I guess he's not a you just are or are not. Previous Fireside Yankees guest Julian Guillarte. That is his report, and I'd be in on it. Cheap deal. Guy's got stuff. Would you say the Yankees are, we talked about this. What are we giving up for Peralta? Again, I think I did that as well. William Warren just seems like a Milwaukee Brewer. Yeah, I would agree. With Schwarber and Alonso at $30 million a year and Soto at $50 million a year, doesn't seem like Tucker gets $40 million a year. So what's the annual average salary for Tucker and for Bellinger? Seems like years 8 through 9 and 4 through 5, respectively, salary problem. So I think 4 to 5 years for Bellinger is what the Yankees are hoping for. I think 8 to 9 years is what any team signing Tucker would be looking for. So I think those two terms are very ideal for these players. I think for the Yankees, you keep it under $28 million AAV and you get it to 5 years. I think you're happy. For Tucker, I would say if it's under $40 million at 8 to 9 years, I'd be willing to do it. So, yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, the Wicked 50 Cal. Hope you're doing well. Can't find any videos on Cade Winquest. Well, let's do this. How about we all kind of take some time to look at Cade Winquest and some film of him throwing. This of Kareem at Kareem SSN. We'll look at this together.
To open up the sixth inning from Winquest. Chased one from first in the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a foul.
1-2. Cedeno swings feet away. Full count, 2 outs. Hard cut and a miss from Fort Worth, Texas originally. He was acquired by
the set in the 1-0. Swing and a miss. It's 1.
So, guy's got a power fastball. The shape for the fastball isn't great, but the velocity is pretty freaking good. So that is that. Cade Winquest, Yankees Rule 5 pick. Exactly. No moves, which is great. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Crazy that there has not been one addition from the Yankees this offseason. Technically, there has. I know it's not an addition. It's a bringing back of Yarbrough and Grisham, but, you know, in theory, that'd be like saying Bellinger is an addition, which, like, it's a whole other conversation. When the Yankees, like, when we talk about the Yankees and what they're going to do, we'll see. I mean, none of the guys who I think the Yankees are looking at have gone. So we'll go from there. I was told the Yankees offer is in the 5-year, $135 million range. Hey, I hope that that's a deal the Yankees can do. Why don't we know the health of Judge's right arm? If he's a DH to start, then Stanton, Judge, or Rice split time at DH and first base. The Yankees said publicly he will not need surgery, that is what the MRI showed, so he will be back to start the year, playing right field. Murakami market is so dead, everyone's forgot he's on the market. Yeah, I mean, he's got big strikeout issues. I mentioned this going into the offseason. Guys, this is not a pitcher, or excuse me, this is not a hitter who the Yankees were seriously interested in. So, yeah, like, he's not a player who the Yankees should have been really in on. This is not a player, of, like, serious interest to a lot of contenders. He's a project player. The Mets are not okay. We're gonna do something together, fellas. Let's look at this. Will Salmon, Athletic, one of considered very much credible on Mets information. What is he saying about the Mets and their free agency?
What's next for Stearns and the Mets the rest of the offseason, Will?
Well, I already mentioned the word disciplined. I'm going to mention it again, Sal. That's the word that keeps getting thrown to me by agents, by people even inside the club for that matter. I think that's going to be their approach to free agency. I think that there's some interest in some of those bigger name people out there, but perhaps they're going to need the market to simmer down a little bit, and maybe they swoop in. Maybe they're a little bit opportunistic with those names. I think that they're going to be very active in trade talks. I think that there's a very large appetite for a need type of trade where even if it's another competitive club, maybe they trade for somebody else. Maybe they acquire a need and they flip a starting pitcher for a team that wants starting pitching. Maybe they get an outfielder back in return. Those types of deals are going to be something that I'm going to be watching going forward. And I'll keep an eye out on the free agency as well. But if I'm expecting the Mets to make a bigger move, I'm looking forward to via trade.
What's next?
This is not the kind of, these are not the words of a team that's threatening me for Cody Bellinger. We have a super chat here. Was Dominguez a horrible fielder in the minors? I don't remember it being in the scouting reports. If not, what the hell happened? T Crumbs 24, thank you for the super chat. Dominguez was considered a below average center fielder. The way he ran at balls, his routes were certainly subpar. So I do believe there were defensive concerns there, but it doesn't help that he had to go out and play Yankee Stadium left field with minimal professional experience. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at there. Yeah, I don't think he was ever considered a good defensive player. But it's definitely shocking how bad it is, given he was a center fielder. Let's keep looking here. Surprised there's no reports with Okamoto. Seems like he checks a lot of boxes, right-handed batter, low K rate, first base, third base. So what I will say, Yankee Source in his articles have linked the Yankees to Okamoto. There's buzz with the Red Sox and the Blue Jays from John Heyman and the Pirates as well. I just think there are teams that can offer starting jobs that are going to be more attractive for Okamoto. I don't think it's a money thing as much as it could be a money thing actually, because how much are the Yankees gonna be willing to pay for a guy who doesn't start every day, whatever. Yeah. Let's keep rolling here. What else we got? What is your top right-handed bat targets? On the free agent market, Ahmed Rosario, Rob Refsnyder, and Austin Hayes. Hayes, if the Yankees strike out on Bellinger and Tucker. When it comes to if the Yankees ended up with Bellinger, I would bring in Ahmed Rosario. I think you want one of those two because Ahmed Rosario plays the infield. Hayes plays the outfield. Refsnyder's interesting, but we'll see. How many cups of coffee do you drink a day? Today I'm on one and an energy drink. 1 cup of coffee and an energy drink. That's what I'm on today. I'm having some tea, but this is not caffeinated. This is a great point, Zod. Every like gives the Yankees an extra $1 million to work with in their payroll. Great point. So if you guys like, we'll go for an extra half hour at the half hour mark right now. We're going to get to one hour. If you are to, if you guys like, get us to 100 likes, we'll do an hour 30. If we get to 150, we'll do 2 hours. So let's keep the good times rolling here. Yankees will not go 6 years for Bellinger is what I was told today. We shall see. I agree. I think they won't go for 6 years. I know Andy Martino kind of reported that the Yankees would be a little hesitant to maybe go 6 years in that regard. So yeah, his contract is $10 million less because Miami's paying it. That is a good point. It is less money, though the luxury tax hit remains the same. We can't run back the same team. I look, offensively, I understand the concerns here. I understand why people don't like it. I understand why people are upset with the offense, but I do think the offense is good. I think the Yankees believe this position player group is good. Projections buy in. I think where they need to be, make sure they don't run it back is with the rotation. Need to go out and need to add to their pitching staff this upcoming offseason. Is doing nothing as crazy as it seems at the winter meetings, or are we overreacting? It's definitely boring. Like, there's no doubt about the fact that it's boring. But I do think it's important to note with the Yankees, I don't believe that the Yankees are going to, like, the Yankees didn't, there's no one who left the board, and I'll repeat this again. There is not a player who has left the board who the Yankees displayed serious interest in. Because of that, I don't believe that we're going to see the Yankees as a team where we're going to start panicking and overreacting to the fact that they have not done anything this offseason. I think we slow the roll, go, hey, all right, what is the game plan here? Why is the market moving slow? We'll go from there. But I don't believe we should be looking at things and going, all right, time to panic. Nothing has happened yet. No, for guys the Yankees for guys the Yankees are into. I would like more than this, but it's a good framework. I'd like a starter in this group, though. I hated the bullpen last year, but I think they have a lot of in-house options. Santos, Bird, Hampton, ERC. They don't need to do much, and they'll have to give a lot up for McGill. I do think they need some impact arms. The 7th and 8th inning, I think they need impact arms. Am I the only one who hasn't given up on Volpe? Look, I don't think that Volpe is the kind of player who I don't think the Yankees are the kind of player that, or Volpe's the kind of player who, like, I'm all in on anymore. Like, I think after 2024, I like the player. I like the player a lot because the defense was very good base runner, and you hope that, you know, if he swings to the fence a little more, he could be closer to a 95, 100 WRC plus player. I don't believe the New York Yankees are going to, I don't think the New York Yankees can expect him to ever be a league average hitter. So again, I think they need to be, I think the Yankees need to be the Yankees need to be in a situation where they look at Volpe and go, hey, if we can get better, like a Nico Horner, they should do it. But I think he's a good enough defensive player where you can win baseball games with him hitting 8th or 9th. That's, I think, the balance I have between Volpe, like being gung-ho about Volpe and being like he's got to get traded regardless, and you got to find a way, any way possible to upgrade, because I just don't think there are a lot of obvious upgrades out there. I do want to look at this article here from Will Salmon of The Athletic, who talked about Bellinger and Tucker for the Mets. And let's read what this says here. Where is this? Okay, here we go. It sounds like a disciplined approach will continue. The way the Mets view it, they have 2 superstar players in Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor, plus an impressive farm system brimming with pitchers. They plan to complement Soto and Lindor with good players. The question remains how good will those players be? The bigger name free agent position players, such as Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger, may emerge as targets at some point. Ditto some of the bigger name free agent pitchers. The guess is that the Mets are going to wait things out, be opportunistic, and try to cash in if a premium players market is falling short of projection. Again, discipline. In previous free agent classes, the Mets have shots and gone in on a player or two. Last year, it was Soto. Perhaps this year's group does not contain such a player to their liking. Perhaps they don't want to get stuck in a long contract that ages poorly and becomes difficult to move. In the meantime, expect them to pursue trade paths. Mets hold some interest in Lars Nootbaar. More speculatively, Ron Laureano. Hold interest in Tyler Rogers. Check in on Robert Suarez. Price matters. I don't believe this is the kind of article that, again, dictates that the Yankees are, like, this is not the kind of market that dictates a player or a team that is getting ready to dive in on Cody Bellinger. And I say it time and time again with Cody Bellinger. What's the logic? Who's the team they want, or who's the team that they're in? Who's the team that's going to steal him? Right? I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Let's get back to the questions here. What's the point of Cashman going to the winter meetings to talk strategy, to talk to teams, to try and see if he can get anything to shake? That hasn't happened. Let's keep sipping on tea. Warren because he's got more years of control. Jazz, Warren, Hester, Marte. I think the Diamondbacks say no, but I would definitely say yes to this. Offensively, yes. Defensively, yikes. If Amai signs with us, am I crazy for thinking he'll have the same legacy that Tanaka has for us? It's possible. It depends on how productive he is. I think he's a good pitcher. Who are the players you actually think we get? I think we can trade for a starter. I think someone like a Gore, a Peralta, something of that nature. And I think Mason Miller's not an option. I disagree on the idea that this is an unpopular opinion here. Unpopular opinion, give Jazz 2 weeks to sign an extension. If not, trade him. Tired of losing players for nothing. I'd rather lose a player for nothing and give myself a better chance to compete than to get something back for an expiring contract. I have to skip ahead a little bit here. I apologize, guys. I've fallen so behind with questions. I'm going to try and look to not repeat questions here. So, yeah. Let's see. I am worried the Blue Jays may go further than the Yankees. Hey, for Bellinger, I wouldn't be too worried, but, we'll see. Hey, that's a good point. Because if the Blue Jays do that, there's no Tucker team. Fair point. If Bellinger signs for 5 years, Boris will demand at least 30. The best case scenario here is 6 years club option after 5 for 28.5 AAV. Well, isn't a club option for the 6th year basically just a 5-year deal? Like, the odds of the Yankees picking that up are pretty low, no? Is that fair to say? Let's keep looking here. 5, they're 135, 27 annual average salary for Bellinger, 27 million. Should be the absolute max for Bellinger. Anything more feels egregious to me. I'm willing to give wiggle room, $1 million here, maybe $2 million there, but I would mostly agree. I don't know if the word I'd use is egregious, but it's an overpay, I think. Bellinger, Peralta, and Seager to the Yankees. Seager is very unrealistic. I do not believe that'll happen, but if this happened, I'd be very happy. How much do you buy into Volpe's sample before the shoulder injury? I buy into it to the point that I think he's still a good defender. I buy into it to the point that I think there's a chance that he can hit to the degree where he's like a 90, 95 OPS plus hitter. But I don't want to buy into the offense. It's too small of a sample size, just too much. Peralta or Amai or Gore. Ryan, I'd rather have Amai. Again, I think I'm kind of like, I think I'm pretty much the same on all these guys. I think. I think Dominguez literally dropped the fly ball at the Futures game. Yes, that did occur. And in the AFL, he struggled with this as well. Used to like Bader. Then I looked at his Savant page. Yeah, there's some issues there with his batted ball data. So, yeah. No wonder the Yankees got rid of that international scout. Yeah, it's been a lot of busts in the international free agent market. Trade with Twins for Ryan and Jeffers. I would love that. Your energy drink is probably why you're losing your voice, by the way. I had to cut out Gatorade Zero. Artificial sweeteners dry your throat. If that's true, and I obviously, like, I'm not really I'm not a genius on this stuff, that probably would make sense. I predict the Yankees I predict Dominguez will be a Pirate, with the Yankees having interest in Barco, Ashcraft, etc. I would love Ashcraft for Dominguez because Ashcraft has tons of control, good velo, could start for you, but has really, really, really good reliever profiles. Trying to get to that 500 for Tucker and Bichette. 500. The Yankees had $500 million extra dollars to spend. Oh my God, man. Let's see what else we've got. What's up, Ryan? If there was possible in any universe, not signing Grisham, would the Yankees like to grab Tucker and Bellinger? I don't think they were ever going to sign both players. Yeah. Hal needs to figure it out. Why help him? LMAO. Good point. Ryan Watson to the Red Sox per Bob Nightingale. Yeah, I saw it's a Rule 5 trade, I believe it was. Let's see what else we've got. Market slow is no excuse. Teams are making moves regardless of the market moving slow. Again, teams are making moves in departments where the Yankees are not involved in. So, yeah. Yeah, I think it's a little bit, you can't really do the apples. That's apples to oranges. Honestly, I think Donovan, Romero, and Contreras, the trade package would give them half their needs, but I think it's going to be hard to pull off. Yeah, the ability for the Yankees to acquire the odds of the Yankees acquiring all three is pretty low because Donovan's price, from my understanding, has really skyrocketed. Let's see what else we've got. Hot take, I would trade Volpe for Corey Seager and Cash. I know Cash might be a little rad reading that, but I think we'd win that deal. If that's that has to be a joke because, like, I think everyone would do that. We got another. Oh, we have another super chat. I apologize, from BTK1213. Any news on Skeens and Scooble? Get both. Accountant Hal. Scooble, if he gets traded, I don't think it'll be the Yankees, and Scooble's not getting traded. What do you think Amai signs for, and who do you think is the favorite? I think there's no individual favorite, but I would say the Cubs, Yankees, and Phillies are favorites. Ryan, what year did you start watching the Yankees? I'd say like to the point where I was like following, like tracking stats and everything was like 17 or 16. But I've been watching since I was a kid. It was just more of like as a kid having fun with it. And then, you know, at around 17, 18, I started really caring about like off-season plans and all that stuff. So, yeah. Let's keep it going here. 2010 for me, still waiting for that ring, man. Hopefully we get it. I at least hope he sets the groundwork for some deals. Definitely possible. Mets traded Nimmo away and Belly would regress in their park, and the situation would end up similar to Nimmo. So would it make sense? I'd agree. Now, there is a report on the Angels. There are indications that this year the Angels would like to aim higher. They'd like to take a big shot, even if they only have money for one. I hope that this is not Bellinger, right? Because that would suck if they were like willing to make a stupid offer for Cody Bellinger. If the Yankees miss on Cody Bellinger, what do you think about outfielder Zach Veen? I don't believe the Yankees getting Zach Veen would whet my appetite. Zach Veen, it's not that I think he's going to be a complete bum. I know he was a fun prospect for a little bit, but don't get the sense that he is a lockdown good major leaguer. He is not a non-top 100 prospect. There are some big strikeout concerns here. Struggled a lot in the big leagues in his early sample there. I would not be interested in that, me personally. Which and how many of Hayes, Okamoto, Rosario, Carantini do the Yankees sign to supplement right side hitting? Carantini is a fun one. I wonder how much he gets, but Carantini is a fun one. I think Hayes would be fun. Okamoto, Rosario, Carantini. I would say one or maybe two. If Bellinger signs over $25 million, why aren't you getting Tucker, dude? I agree. We agree. We agree on this. I agree. Hey, Ryan, what did I miss during the stream? Nothing much. Just the Yankees are linked to starting pitcher Freddie Peralta by The Athletic. Harrison Bader under any circumstances? Probably not, because he should sign for starting outfield money. The Yankees don't use common sense. If they give Bellinger $30 million for 5 years, then why not go for the better player for a couple extra years? Look, if the Yankees are willing to give him $30 million a year, which I don't think they are, I'd be upset. I'd be upset for sure. Because why not get Tucker? How scared of you are you about Wandy? This is the Yankees' top international free agent target for this upcoming class. Worried for sure. A little bit worried for sure. Lost my voice a little early in the year, and eating chicken and steak made it a lot stronger. Real protein. I was malnourished. I don't think malnourishment's my issue, but I'll see if I make sure my real protein game is stepped the hell up. This lineup stinks, and you're banking on Grisham to recreate a career year. They need support, but I don't think it's a bad one. They need support, but I don't think it's a bad lineup. I just don't. That's just my opinion. So yeah, fight me on it. Why weren't the Yankees in on Alonso? They have a first baseman. It's Ben Rice. They weren't on Alonso, just not well reported. Yeah, I don't think they're that in on Alonso. I know it sounds dumb, but is there any world where we could flip Grisham and eat some of the salary to make a trade for like a Donovan? Grisham for the Cardinals doesn't make a lot of sense. I think Grisham would carry trade value, but I don't think it would be for a Brendan Donovan. That doesn't really add up, because the Cardinals, they want a 1-year player, right? Amaya's getting 8 years, $200 million most likely. Look, if that's the case, I'd rather trade for a starter. I was at Yankee Stadium donating food in their annual holiday drive. Got a ticket voucher for any 9 series of games for the 2026 season. I missed meeting Ben Rice. Oh, man. Well, at least you got the ticket, and at least you were doing a good deed, right? Unpopular opinion, if the Yankees can't get Bellinger, I think Jose Canseco could fill. Okay, you're trolling. Personally, I've been targeting Freddie Peralta since the season ended because I don't think they need a multi-year starter, and the package wouldn't be huge. Similar to a return for Devin Williams, I'm manifesting. I think it'd be really fun. It'd be a really fun addition, and it would make the Yankee rotation a good bit better. Will the Yankees go after cheaper Japanese pitcher Kona Takahashi? I would not want that to happen. I don't think he's very good, in my opinion. Yeah. How come Cashman doesn't do contract extensions before free agency? I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know. Remember when Cashman's the smartest man in the room? It's giving ego talking. What are we talking about, guys? What are you talking about? The fallback options for Belly Sherman listed are a joke. Yeah, I think that it'd be a platoon for Dominguez. That's what you would do, right? Yeah. I want Marte. I do too, but I don't think it's happening. Do you think Matt Blake magic works on the GOAT Jake Bird? I do think it can, but I also just think I'm going to pull up his stats here. You guys know my favorite stat for pitchers. It's strikeout to walk rate, baby. 16.5% strikeout to walk rate. It's not elite, but it's good. Yeah, you're going to kind of good ground ball rate. I'm going to kind of assume this guy's not going to be that bad next year. So, yeah. Grisham for Bohm, I wouldn't do it. Need a leadoff hitter that's not Grisham, Ben Rice. Grisham, no, he can. No. He can be traded. He just has to waive his no trade clause. I want to clarify this. Trent Grisham can be traded. He just has to waive a no-trade clause. Does Goldie leaving change any of the offensive projections? No. Mets may take Grisham to trade. I think they would. They need outfield right now. They need outfield support, whether it be a left fielder or a right field or a center fielder. They don't have a good lineup. Good for 162, but not good for a short series. And let's ask a question. And I kind of ranted about this last night. Might have blown out my voice doing this. Why? Like, what can someone describe to me what makes for a good lineup in the regular season and a poor lineup in the postseason? Could someone explain to me what makes for a good lineup in the regular season and a bad lineup in the postseason? What do you guys think that is? Hitting for average. If you hit for average, it'll translate to the postseason. Is that what you're saying, David? I think that's what David is referring to. Okay. All right. Batting average. Okay. Yankees batting average as a team. They were the 10th highest in batting average, the 3rd highest in on-base percentage. They were 1 point behind the Blue Jays in on-base percentage. Now let's look at the postseason this past year. Where is it? Oh, I can't find it. There we go. Yankees, 2nd in batting average, 3rd in on-base percentage. Higher batting average than the Dodgers. Take Judge out and they plummet. What about the year prior when the Yankees didn't hit for a high average, scored more runs, and Aaron Judge didn't hit? So when you tell me, well, you take out Aaron Judge and they plummet. When you take out Aaron Judge in the postseason 24, they skyrocket. When you talk about situational hitting, right? Like situational hitting is let's do situational hitting, like clutch time hitting, right? Teams who hit well in the clutch in the 2025 regular season. So we're going to kind of look at the Yankees stats in high leverage is what I'm going to look for here. See if I can find it. High leverage or the team stats. Yankee stats thinking the high leverage actually really bad this year. That was really bad. Toronto was really good. Dodgers are worse than Toronto in that regard, and the Dodgers beat them in the World Series. The Mets were very good in high leverage hitting, and they didn't make the postseason. 1, 2 teams that didn't make the postseason, made the postseason, didn't make it, made it, won the pennant, made it, didn't make it, made it. What about 24? Yankees, 112, Dodgers, 115, high leverage. Good teams tend to hit well in high leverage. Because if you're good, and it's very refined. This is a good point. I think it's like, do you guys remember the Aaron Judge home run? Was it against, I forget what home run it was. Yes, it was a home run that Aaron Judge hit against the Mariners where it put the Yankees ahead. And what ended up happening was they did not consider it a high leverage at bat. The game-tying home run that Aaron Judge hit in Toronto when they almost made that comeback was not considered. It was not considered a high leverage home run. So that is a good point. So maybe you should just look at runners in scoring position. Maybe is that a better way to put it? Like objectively, like runners in scoring position, you need to drive these guys in. Is that fair? Is that a fair piece of logic here? Yankees top 5. Yeah, I agree with this. This is, I think, the best way to talk about the postseason. Not that the Yankees, okay, how do I put this? This is true. The truth is, yeah, it's just about right time, right spot, and that's how you win a World Series. But at the same time, yeah, do I think that, the Dodgers have better odds than the Yankees at winning the World Series? Yeah. And that matters. That's not a luck thing. Okay. So I think there's truth to both. Stan didn't go berserk the year prior. Hold on. Let's also talk about this. The Yankees went to the World Series that year. That's not a question. And in 25, they did not face AL Central teams. And they had the second most batting average in baseball in the postseason, second highest. So, again, I'm not entirely sure why the Yankees don't have a batting average problem. They don't. They didn't have a batting average problem this year, regular and postseason. They didn't pitch well in the postseason. They didn't pitch well. They didn't pitch well in the postseason. That's what killed them. So, yeah, I agree. I don't think they hit enough home runs this postseason. They didn't hit for enough power in the postseason. Their power wasn't there in the postseason. It dissipated. They didn't have power in the postseason. Yeah. I agree. The pitching knocked them out each of the last 2 years. I don't know if I'd say 22 he got knocked out. They didn't score in the ALCS. But in 24 and 25, yeah, they did not pitch. But isn't this every group? Like, every offense gets hot and cold. Every offense slows up, speeds up. It happens to everybody. So I don't think that's necessarily I don't think that's a Yankee-specific thing. The Dodgers were very ice cold at certain points in the postseason. They couldn't buy a hit in the NLDS. They couldn't buy a hit in certain games in the World Series. So, yeah. Yeah, I think they need to be better at run prevention. I agree. You can't. Okay, guys. You can't take out. You can't take a hitter out of a lineup and go, well, if you take this guy out, they're not what's like. Yes, of course. If you took any team's best hitter out, yes, they're going to be worse. Right? I don't know what else to say. Like, even the Yankees, I remember doing this throughout the season. The Yankees had a top 10 offense, top 5 or 10 OPS if you remove Aaron Judge. They had a deep lineup. It didn't work in the postseason for some reason. They had a much deeper lineup this year than they did the year prior. That's a good point. They did. They scored as many runs. Yeah, they did. I hope he's right, but I still think it'll be Bellinger. That's just how I feel. You guys know how I feel about Kyle Tucker. I want him. It's just about whether I think it's going to happen or not. This is a good point. That World Series game, that was a disgusting offensive performance. The Blue Jays had a disgusting offensive performance in Game 6 and a disgusting one in Game 7. And that team Do you know who got destroyed by Kevin Gausman in Game 1? Does anyone know who got... come on. What? Yes, in the postseason, Aaron Judge did a carry job. This past postseason. The year prior, Aaron Judge got carried. This isn't sticky on a year-to-year basis. We've got to stop with this. We have to. We're not going to rewrite the Yankee postseason story to make it seem like Aaron Judge has been, woe is Aaron Judge every single year in the postseason. Some years he's been great, and the Yankees haven't been great. Some years he hasn't been great, and the Yankees have been great in the postseason. What are we doing? This past year, Aaron Judge hard carried that offense in the postseason. The regular season, very balanced. In the postseason the year prior, it was actually funny because Aaron Judge carried the Yankees in the regular season in 24. It was Judge and Soto. And then the postseason, they didn't have Judge to rely on. And then and then 25 is kind of the flip version of this. So I don't know what else to say, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know. Again, I think that the Yankees need more offensively. They need to get better right-handed hitting because without right-handed hitting, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard for them to counteract lefties in the American League and in the postseason, in the regular season, whatever it may be. But the Yankees also need pitching. I think pitching is their biggest issue right now. Yankees on Ketel's no-trade list. Yes, he's on their no-trade list. It's been reported that he would waive it, but we'll see. You had 2 regular everyday players hit over 260. It's a batting average problem. What? Hold on. I want to test this theory. That's the postseason. Sorry, regular season. He had 2. No, that 3. If we look at average plus, which is batting average adjusting, they had 4 of their 7 qualified hitters finish with an above average batting average. 4 of their 7. 4 of their 7. 4. Want to expand this to like 200 plate appearances for the Yankees? 6 of their 10. 60% of the guys who took at least 200 plate appearances for this team finished with an above average batting average. Yes, the average batting average in this league is 251. Oh, that's the Yankees. Sorry. Whoop. All teams. 245. Average batting average is 245. It's 245. So I understand this. Yeah, I agree. I think batting average isn't as important as on base percentage. That's my opinion on it. Let's keep it rolling though. Look, yeah, I think that Grisham will regress. I agree. I think McMahon will be better than what you got previously before he came in at third base. Or at least your quote-unquote fourth infielder, since technically Jazz was a third baseman for a bit, and he did hit when he was playing at third. You kind of hope that accompanied with Wells. I think Rice is, you kind of expect more of the same, just because like it's really hard. Like I just have a hard time giving somebody a 140 WRC plus projection if it's not like it's mega elite. So again, let's just look at the depth chart or their projections. Yankees. So arrows down on Judge, arrows down on Jazz, arrows down on Rice, Trent, arrows down on Stanton, and then arrows up on Volpe, Wells, and I think it's arrows down on Caballero. So like it's the overall the net is down. Like it's a net decrease in offense if you ran back the same group and you put even Bellinger back on this, whatever it may be. But it's not like a bad group. It's just like, hey, you're gonna go from you're the best. You put up a 119 WRC plus, like a near 800 OPS to like about a 760 OPS and a 111 WRC plus. So yeah, yeah. No, they were not that this past year. So no. I think Bellinger will be worse against lefties and better against righties. It'll kind of even itself out a little bit. $95 million. Sorry for Peralta. Sorry. I don't know what that means. Ryan compared Judge's stats to everybody else in the Yankees. Yes, Judge is a better player than everybody else in the Yankees. We're aware of this. No one's not aware of this. There were reports that the Yankees were looking into Brenton Doyle on the of the Rockies. Wouldn't mind him because he's a right-handed bat with Gold Glove defense. Hit 15 home runs, 60 RBI speed, and fits with McMahon. I think I'd like him as a fourth outfielder. Yeah, I think Tucker's great. I like Tucker. Brian Reynolds stopped being productive. Let's look at Brian Reynolds' stats together. Brian Reynolds just stopped being the guy he used to be. Let's look at the superstar year. Then he was good, not great. Again, kind of like good, not great. Another year, good, not great. And then kind of starting to bottom out a little bit. The defense too. Let's look at the defense. 2023 is 2021 is like that monster elite year. Was a pretty good defensive center fielder in terms of outs above average and fielding run value, but ever since he's stopping a center fielder and now he's just a bad defensive corner outfielder. So yeah, Brian Reynolds kind of fell off a cliff. Or at least went from like a superstar to like like an overpay. Yeah, it's pretty funny. That's essentially what occurred. I'm drinking tea with some honey in it. Hey, his words, not mine. Now, do I disagree with the message? I won't give my hand there, but his words, not mine. I gotta find this. Hold on. I'm gonna find this. Hold on. Gonna try and find this. Good buddy of mine, Chris Coop. Here's how the Yankees performed relative to the league against pitchers who were top 20 in ERA. Their expected stats inside the top 5: Cubs, Dodgers, Mets. Mind you, the Blue Jays were behind the Yankees here and performed better in the postseason. The freaking Marlins are on here. But anywho, In terms of team slugging percentage, Yankees are behind Padres, Mariners, Cubs. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. They're 7th, 8th. They were 8th in slugging percentage against top 20 pitchers in ERA. Yeah, man. Don't know what to tell you. They perform well against good teams. They performed against good teams. Be honest, I love McDouble. I prioritize signing an elite pitcher over Bellinger Tucker stuff. The lineup isn't awful. It's not great, but we need to get better arms in the building. Not over Tucker, because Tucker, I think, is like, you can't find another player like Tucker on the market right now. But I would agree that over Bellinger. If you were like, okay, the Yankees can sign, or I mean, I guess there's not really like a guy like that either. But if the Yankees, it was like, hey, the Yankees are going to sign Tatsuya Imai and trade for an outfielder and then get some right-handed bats, like whatever it may be. Like, am I willing to do it? Maybe I'd consider it. And Imai doesn't really have like a proven track record. So like the fact that I even consider it is pretty nuts. Yeah. Ryan, you want to know batting average of pitching, ERA, just like batting average completely meaningless. I think ERA is, again, it's a better descriptive stats than batting averages. And I know I said, like, if we got 100 likes, I'd go for more than an hour. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I just want to keep doing this. We also got over 100 likes, so I appreciate that. But I just want to keep cooking. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, but if you guys could like, that'd be great. Let's keep it rolling. Hit the like button, chat. Yep, for sure, John. I second that message. Wait, is the winter meeting over? Today was the last day. Yes, today's the last major day of the winter meeting. So, yeah. Ryan, look at Rice's expected stats versus actual. Yeah, the guy was a monster. His expected OPS was elite. So, yeah. Greg Amsinger has a theory that that Tucker will be a Yankee, not Bellinger. Look at you go, Ryan. Your boy's getting the theory crafting. Hey, I hope you're right. Let's actually look at that video together. It's with my guy, Julian. Again, as I referenced earlier, Fireside Yankees guest, Julian. So let's pull this up here. Share screen.
Outfield now. So we have Tucker and we have Bellinger. The Yankees have been idle still. Do you think that Bellinger's going to go back to the Yankees, or do you think the Mets might respond by taking him away, maybe since they lost Diaz or something like that?
I think the longer this goes, the more likely Bellinger does not come back to the New York Yankees. To me, this means they are really committed to trying to work out a negotiation with their A-list target, and that would be Kyle Tucker. I think if they were okay with the idea of bringing back a guy they like, who gives them defensive versatility, Trent Grisham's back for at least one more year after he leaves. Bellinger can slide there into center field. I think that deal would have been done by now.
Okay.
But because I think the Yankees, among others, are working on Kyle Tucker, they want to see if they're in his orbit. Bellinger's just kind of hanging.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be Tucker that goes first, and then Bellinger will be the plan B.
Yeah, because he sets the market, Tucker, so that does make sense if you think about it, like from top to bottom.
Right.
And I personally think Tucker's a much better fit going forward. You look at offensively, like Judge needs a Robin. I don't think Bellinger's quite the Robin material with the bat, personally. So like they lost Soto. They wanted to trade for Tucker last year, so I don't believe that there's like no interest. I just find that hard to believe. Also, honestly,
I think Kyle Tucker has the demeanor of a Yankee. I mean, just the way he goes about his business. He's a very simple guy, a terrific talent. So many similarities. I remember Mark Teixeira being a free agent, and it was just this good guy that just showed up to work every day and tried hard. And there's just so many similarities I see in Kyle Tucker to a Mark Teixeira who ended up being a New York Yankee. So I did a Greg's List not long ago where I had the most likely destinations for Kyle Tucker.
I saw this,
and I had the Yankees. I had the Yankees number one, and I'm staying by that.
We're gonna end that conversation there. Again, I don't think the Yankees. My bet is that they don't sign him. That's going to be my bet. I do want to point out what's going on here in the Yankee land. Not Yankee land, Braves land. Braves just signed Mike Yastrzemski, I think, or are closing in. Yep. Heyman, Mike Yastrzemski goes to Braves on a 2-year, $32 million contract. So, hey, I think that's a good deal for the Braves. And yeah. I like a ventriloquist dummy. I'm here to say things that Ryan doesn't want to have to say. That's a great point. Trade for Chris Bryant. Dude, wow. Yeah, no. Why pitch to Reynolds? Nobody in that Pirates lineup at all. Yeah, good point. Good point. Not a bad point being made here. Let's see what else we've got. Do you think that Corey Seager is realistic? No. I hope we stop switching up the lineup a lot. I do think the Yankees switched things up a lot because they were trying to find their identity as an offense, and they didn't find it earlier. So, yeah. Let's keep it rolling. Ryan, I have a wild take. Shohei is overrated. He rarely pitches. He doesn't have crazy high BA. Stolen bases are overrated. In the last year, Judge still better. I do think Judge was better, but I don't think he's overrated. So, yeah. Let's keep rolling with what's going on here. Let's see. This is a fair point. Winter meetings being basically 2 days is dumb. Make it at least 4 to 5 days. Fair. I just wish there was more action that went down, but we'll see. We'll see. No way we get Tucker again. I don't think we get Tucker. I would agree, but I think it's a compelling case. It's more logical than just ignoring Tucker on the market, right? Is that fair, guys? Is that fair? Guys, what do you guys think? Is that fair? What do we think? All right. Let's see. How about this? We go for Tucker. Tucker signs elsewhere. Then do we not basically have to give Bellinger the years? Tucker might go off the market first regardless. Bellinger might just wait. Greg spreading the Tucker propaganda. Love to see it. Look, I think the Yankees need Tucker more than need Bellinger. It's what I believe. I'll say it time and time again. Let's keep it rolling. Let's see. Complete pipe dream I have is flipping Jazz for pitching and then getting Ketel. This is a complete dream scenario for me. Look, I think that makes the Yankees considerably better because I think the big aspect of being able to acquire Ketel Marte is that he's better against lefties than Jazz is. He's a better fit for the lineup. 100% Tucker, long game, can't beat 2 years younger, and he can't beat the fact that he's such a freaking damn good hitter. He's such a freaking good hitter, man. He's such a damn good hitter. They wanted to trade for Tucker last winter and then pivoted to Bellinger after Tucker was dealt to Chicago. Why wouldn't they go to Tucker this winter? Now let's talk about this, Colton. I reported this, at the start of the winter, basically. The Yankees showed extreme interest in trading for Kyle Tucker last year. That wasn't really me reporting it, like breaking anything, but I did mention that they were willing to go to some pretty extreme lengths. Guys like Jason Dominguez. I'm not under the impression that George Lombard Jr. was completely off the table in this scenario. And the other thing I'd like to note in all of this is that the New York Yankees seem to be very interested in acquiring someone like Tucker and giving him giving him an extension. So, I just don't believe this to be a thing that we should be like. I don't know. The Yankees just why not, right? Like why not? We don't know what he wants. We don't know we don't know what he wants. We don't. And I don't think we're debating it. We're not debating with the fan base at this point. I think at least the rational fan base, the intelligent part of the Yankee fan base, the wired into baseball part of the Yankee fan base, not the ones that are, and I'm not making this disrespectfully, but let's just say it for what it is. The people who want Cody Bellinger more than Kyle Tucker are people who kind of watch baseball more in the periphery. They saw Bellinger and the way he performed this past year, and they were like, hey, we watch Bellinger perform well. Now, there are some other variables in here. Cost, right? There's the reasonable Yankee fan who might go, I'm intelligent. I'm a reasonable, intelligent Yankee fan. But I understand that Bellinger is going to cost less than Tucker, and it might provide the Yankees with more ability to address the other holes on their roster. And I think that's fair. Then there are the rumors of potential character concerns. I don't know if they're real. You ask me, I don't believe they're real, but I don't have a report suggesting they're untrue. Therefore, I cannot refute a report that I can't refute a report I didn't make without information, right? So, again, I'm not saying that to say he's correct, that being Joel Sherman, that Joel Sherman's accurate. It's just that I cannot refute a report without information that refutes the information. I can't refute information I don't have. I do not have sources that are telling me that Kyle Tucker, those reports are wrong. So that's neither here nor there. Now, I also want to point out with Kyle Tucker, he's a very good hitter. He's a very good fit. He's a really, really strong hitter against lefties. He's perfect for this team. Another super chat from Jonathan Carrizzo. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Character issues, Boris BS to help Ellie's market. Maybe it's true. Again, I am not saying that they're true. I am not saying they're false. I'm saying it's out there, and I'm saying I don't have information to refute it. I hope that is clear. I hope that at least, I hope that clarifies what I'm trying to say. That it's not me taking a stance. It's me not having the information to take a stance. I hope that's the case. I really do. Now, again, it's possible that those character things, again, like we don't know. But I would say just from a baseball standpoint, from a who's the better baseball player, the reasonable, rational, logical Yankee fan wants Kyle Tucker. You could make this argument depending on what he ends up for. If he ends up signing for $40 million, you're essentially saying he's one win worse than Juan Soto. And I think Juan Soto is more than a win better than Kyle Tucker will be on a year-to-year basis. So I would disagree. If Tucker signs for like $32 million, then you're saying he's about 2 wins worse. Then yeah, I would say like, hey, you should probably sign Tucker at that point, because I don't think Tucker's 2 wins worse on a year-to-year basis than Juan Soto is. So yeah. That's a good point. Again, the timing is confusing, right? The timing is confusing. That's fair. The timing is confusing. Yankees traded for Jazz and Josh Donaldson, also signed Marcus Stroman, but Kyle Tucker's a problem. That is another great point. They harbored Aroldis Chapman. They harbored Domingo Germán. I didn't even think about this. This is a very good point. This is a very, 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 very good point. Why would the Yankees be willing to take character risks on Josh Donaldson, who was a noted clubhouse issue, who, let's be frank, the incident with Tim Anderson, whether you think he did wrong or not, that was incredibly inappropriate, and it was an incredible distraction for the roster. For Marcus Stroman, he publicly called out the GM. He publicly bashed the roster. For Domingo Germán and Aroldis Chapman, Domingo Germán was not only was credibly accused with eyewitnesses of domestic violence. For Aroldis Chapman, he was also credibly accused of domestic violence. And Aroldis Chapman quit on the Yankees, and Domingo Germán proceeded to have a drunken fit in the clubhouse and was never seen again on the Yankees. So you've rostered massive character concerns, massive flawed concerns or people. And you've done it because you believe they were going to help you win baseball games. And let's be frank, it's not because they believe these are rehabbed individuals. It is because they believed the talent on the field, the production on the field was worth the issues they had off the field. Is that fair to say, everybody? Is it fair to say that Aroldis Chapman was not a New York Yankee because the Yankees believed he was this reformed and remade and reshaped person? Or the fact that he was a Hall of Fame caliber closer in his prime who the Dodgers suddenly weren't willing to trade for? And when they paid him, same thing. And when they paid him again, same thing. So, again, I don't believe, I would have to agree that, hey, man, why not? Why not sign Tucker when you've had literal criminals on the roster? Really good timing on pitchers. Really good. Really good at that. Tucker played with a broken hand. I doubt he's lazy. That's a great point. He played through a broken hand. No one wants to talk. This is an elite reference, I think, to draft day. Totally possible. That I think Cashman's being hushed. That's totally possible. A lot of their players in the 1990s and 2000s weren't so perfect. A-Rod used to be not amazing and did steroids most of his career, and he won them a freaking World Series. Roger Clemens, very much a controversy-ridden player, helped them win a World Series. Controversial players have helped the Yankees win the World Series, and Tucker's not nearly on that case of controversy. I wouldn't speak to this. I can't speak to reporting. I can't. Belly's dating Stanton's ex is probably at least not great for team chemistry. Marcus, that's not a bad point. That is quite that is probably like that is probably the biggest. That's probably a bigger thing than anything you could talk about with Tucker. The Yankees got to be careful with Belly because Boris did this with them last year, and while he used them to drive up Soto's price, good point. Good point. Why would a guy looking to sign 10 years be a problem? That's a good question. I'll say, it's good. It's good. That's a good question to look into. I think the bigger issue could be, does he have the mind to rise to the big moment in New York? Hey, that's fair. Is he built for New York? I don't know. Tucker knows this is Judge's team and would fall in line. I do think Judge is this ultimate sponge for I think he's this ultimate sponge for what is a clubhouse that has absorbed some controversial figures. I think Judge is great at that. I think Judge is one of the best leaders, one of the best clubhouse guys in the game. Another great point. Dwight Gooden. What if Darryl Strawberry wasn't a perfect individual as well? Great points. Great points being made. Schoen's career over? Probably. Let's keep it rolling here. But the guy's a pro and elite talent, still unlikely. Yeah, I think he's unlikely to sign here, but I think he's a pro and an elite talent. Do you ever think Brian Cashman ever listens to or hears what you say? Just so you know, in my opinion, I feel like you make better takes and talk for most rational Yankee fans. First off, I appreciate that. No, I wouldn't listen to me if I were Brian Cashman. Not because I think I'm a moron, but because I think that GMs are like Brian Cashman isn't a Yankees fan. He's a businessman. This is a businessman. This is not you've got to be able to be emotionless to do your job. I'm not emotionless, and that makes me bad at my job. I want a hoodie or a t-shirt. Does Fireside Yankees have any merch to buy? We do. I'll put a link in the description after the stream. Judge with Tucker would not. I agree. Am I missing something about Rice? Thought he wasn't that good last season. You are missing something with Ben Rice. You're missing a lot with Ben Rice. In the Billy Martin, Reggie Jackson days, he had a ton of controversy and run a chip. Another great point. If Tucker hates baseball and plays like that, I'll take him. I agree. What about Joe Adell trade scenario to the Yankees? Joe Adell's a really good hitter, but he's a really bad defender, and I think that the volatility in his offense, like this year was a really good offensive year for him, but has usually been a below-average hitter. There's a lot of volatility here. So, yeah. I don't get why the Cubs wouldn't bring back Tucker. They had a good lineup around him and PCA, Suzuki, Bush, Happ, Swanson, Horner, and Kelly. They re-signed Managa, and Imai could join him too. Well, I agree, but I think it's financially driven. They have a lot of free agents this upcoming offseason. So, yeah, next offseason they have a ton of free agents. Let's keep it going. My dream offseason, Bellinger/Tucker for outfield, Imai, Peralta, or Gore for starting pitching, and a couple relievers and righty bats too. That'd be great. That'd be great. He played in huge games in Houston. Doesn't have a problem in big games. He didn't perform well in the postseason. I guess that's something that people are talking about. But I agree. He's played in big games. Judge probably helped Jazz's personality issues he might have had with Miguel Rojas. He might have had also Miguel Rojas didn't help his image. That's a great point. Aaron Judge takes guys who are quote unquote problem players and keeps them in line. He was a Dodger fan, actually. Yes, Brian Cashman did grow up a Dodgers fan. What did Tucker even do? I don't know. Strawberry, Gooden, Clemens, Mike Stanton. I don't know who Polonia, A-Rod, Chapman, Herman. Yeah. A lot of controversy on that list. So it had issues in the Padres clubhouse, but even after signing with the Mets, he said that Judge gets everyone together and a person who's easy to get along with. I've heard that it was pretty bad with the Padres. So, yeah, it's a good point. After Soto, people thought everyone was getting 300 to 500. That's not going to happen. Yeah, I think Tucker, his perceived price tag was a lot higher than it actually is. It's a good point. What about Devers with Boston in 2018? What happened there? There's no way we can give Bellinger 7 years. I agree. I would not do that. Babe Ruth ate hot dogs and drank beer all day and was the GOAT. Not everyone's perfect. Good point. Let's go Yankees. Yeah, let's go Yankees, man. Everyone around the Yankees have had Bellinger back, so unless he signs elsewhere, what's the point about talking about Tucker? The point is that we're trying to reiterate that as much as Bellinger is the guy that probably is going to come back, Kyle Tucker is a better player, and they should sign Kyle Tucker. So that's I think the point here. Cashman reacted to Edwin Diaz Dodger signing and gave Diaz props, and he's glad he's not in the AL. Yeah, I did see that. Do you think there'll be a lockout in 2027? I think there'll be a lockout, but I don't think we're going to lose the whole season. You can generally assume rumors about someone being bad or BS when the story is trust us, he's bad. We won't tell you, but he's bad. That's fair. Tucker, Jones, your fourth outfielder. That'd be sick. Are you surprised nobody took Yankee prospects in Rule 5 draft? Yeah, I'm kind of surprised like Harrison Cohen and TJ Rumfield are still in the organization. Kyle's getting cheaper is why the Yankees will stay in. I hope that's the case. Out of the following, which is most likely to happen? Seager, Tatis, Skubal. To get moved, I'd say Skubal. So I would say Skubal. He's considered somewhat of a bad clubhouse guy. Yeah, Devers got traded because of it. That's a good point. And you know what I'll say? And correct me if I'm wrong. Everyone in here, correct me if I'm wrong. Will the Red Sox not have beaten the Yankees if they had Rafael Devers as DH in the wild card round? They lost a 1-run game in game 2. They probably just sweep the Yankees if they have Devers, right? That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but yeah, I think they sweep the Yankees if they have Devers. They cost themselves a potential chance to go to the ALCS, maybe a chance to go to the World Series. And if they had Devers right now, and they were willing to work with Devers, let's look at their depth chart right now. What if you could have replaced Casas with Devers in here, and you'd had Devers at first, or him at DH, and then you add a Bregman like then, like if you had Roman Anthony, Alex Bregman, Rafael Devers, I don't know how else to, like I'm trying to like in my brain put this one together, but like point is if they added, let's say a right-handed bat, let's say they added Cosmo Okamoto to play him at DH, right? Or first base and then have Devers DH. So they'd have Roman Anthony, Alex Bregman, Rafael Devers. I'd probably hit Willie or Bray fourth or fifth, depending on who's, you know, what's kind of going on there. Put Okamoto. Like they could have a pretty good offense if they had kept Devers. So yeah, I don't know. Over under 81 games. I'll take over. You don't want to lose money. Owners don't want to lose money. I'll take over. I would do this in a heartbeat. I don't know if Tucker would take it, but I would do that in a heartbeat. So annoying after trade, Dominguez would go to another team and become an all-around great player. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think the Yankees will get a good chip back if they trade him. I don't think the Yankees are forcing a Dominguez trade. I agree. I think that they're trying to make more of a market for Bellinger, that being Boris, than there actually is. This is a good point. Pretty sure everyone around the Mets had Alonso resigning. You can't trust what these beat writers say. Good point. I also thought he was going to stay. Yeah. Don't believe everything you hear about a player. I heard crazy shit about myself and none of it was true. Just saying. Good point. Happy Runfield and Cohen are back because they're talented, but also good throw in for talent. Yeah, I actually think in this case of Cohen, like he's got a big swing and miss off-speed pitch in the changeup. So, yeah. We don't beat them if they have Roman Anthony. I would agree with that take, too. It's interesting. The Yankees did a dumpster fire and got rid of their entire bullpen, a complete reset. Cousins, Williams, Weaver, Hamilton, Loaizaga, Leiter Jr., and F. Ross are all gone. Yeah, they're going to need to replace them. After Donaldson, anyone else is a pipe dream. Is a dream. Good point. Let's not mess around and go get Keens. They're not going to go get him. Giants were competing with Dodgers for the West and missed the playoffs with Devers. Yeah, good point. But I don't think it's because of Devers. I think they just weren't good. 30 mil to Belly or 35 mil per to Tucker. Come on. Yeah, I agree. There's too close to pick Belly in that situation. Almost forgot Devers in San Francisco. I did too, but you're going to remember on opening day. Happy Rumfield and Cohen are back because, yep, we talked about this. Now to get tons of new relievers in the bullpen around Bednar, Cruz, and Duvall. Hill's one of them. I think Bird and Hedrick will be part of it. Season starts right now. Are the Mets a 500 team? No. I think they'd win like 84, 85 games. They still have Juan Soto. Like they still have Juan Soto. Like they still have Juan Soto. You know, like this is not a talent void roster. They still have Juan Soto. So I think there's talent. There's just not, you know, they just need pitching. Like they need help. Now, we talked about this. Any update on Donovan? Price tag is very high. Red Sox had Ortiz in their team for how long? Devers was too problematic. Hypocrites. I agree. I think it was crazy for them to trade him. Boston has a Japanese DH. They do have Yoshida, but right, not very good. Yep, Yastrzemski headed to Atlanta. Predict Stanton and Grisham's upcoming slash lines. Does Cole have an ERA under 3? Stanton, I'll predict a 220, 300, 450 slash, so 750 OPS. Grisham's 230, 320, 440, so 760 OPS. That's high, 750 OPS, so 430, 320. Yeah, there we go. I think they're both 750 OPS guys, which are like 110 OPS plus players. And then Cole, I think ERA under 3.5. I think it's 3.6, 3.7. Don't. I could see Tucker taking a 3-year deal with high AV and opt-outs. I would hate that because I think he's going to be a Dodger at that point. Boris at the Ben Cashman trade for Bellinger last year. He had to come for free. Good point. What do you think about Merrill Kelly or Chris Bassett as veterans to eat innings until our aces come back? I think the Yankees need a guy who can be their game 2 starter if the situation comes down to it. You guys should get Clint Frazier on the podcast. If he's willing to come on, I'm willing to interview a lot of people. If Cam learns a split or a changeup, he'd be unstoppable. Agreed. If Yankees sign Tucker or even Belly, I firmly believe Yankees trade Dominguez for either Peralta or Alcantara. I agree. Thoughts on Miguel Keller? Both are hard. Both are really good. I think both can be excellent relievers for the Yankees and are really good fits. So, yeah. Cole escapes. Devers another year, luckily. Yes, good point. Insights to the new Rule 5 guy from the Cardinals. Big fastball. Doesn't have great pitch shape on the fastball, but throws very hard. As a reliever, could be awesome. I've talked to some people who think he could be a top 10 prospect inside the organization already. So, like it a lot for the Yankees. Bellinger trade was basically free, while Cashman was ready to trade Rice, Dominguez, Jones, and Heel for Tucker. It's in the same offseason. Great point. Any chance we bring Glaber back? No, I don't think Glaber's coming back because he's not a free agent. And I don't think they want him back. Cam has upgraded his pitches since the season ended. Hope that's the case. Your analysis is insightful as always. If Boris and Bellinger are going to be greedy and demand a contract 5+ years, Yankees should tell them to take a hike. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Realistically, you sign Tucker and trade for some pitching. We're the favorites in the American League. Yep, agree. Why do you think the Japanese bats haven't been as MLB ready as their pitchers? So the reason I think that's the case is because pitching is a lot easier to qualify. You can easily qualify how good a pitcher's stuff is. You can't really quantify how good your bat path is going to play at the big leagues. It's very easy to project pitching compared to hitting and how it'll play at the big league level from the MPB. Do your trust reports that the Mets are not interested in Bellinger and Tucker? Yes, because it's multiple reporters suggesting that they're going to be more opportunistic and not desperate about it. So, yeah. If Stan stays healthy-ish in the next 2 years, he makes the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. I agree. Bald Man should get Tucker, Seager, and Peralta and move McMahon. They won't get Seager. Seager's not getting moved. But sure, if that happened, I'd be great. I don't see Tucker playing on the West Coast. His family would not be excited about that at all. Hope that's true. Can Blanco play third? Again, kind of like the same way Rosario can play third. Can do it, but not good there. Does Cole come back as your number 1 or number 2? I hope you're number 2 or you're number 3. Will we see you on Prince Stripes territory? Great duo, by the way. Yes, absolutely. Me and Derek talk, and we'll get that going again. So yeah. Glaber, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. There's not a lot of smoke around Tucker compared to Bellinger, maybe because Boris is his agent. Yeah, I think Boris is manufacturing a bit of a market here for sure. As much as I want free agents, I feel like when we're forced to play young prospects, they have recently shown up. I think the Yankees can develop talent pretty well, or have gotten better at it, but I still think they should be willing to upgrade in the marketplace. So, yeah. Wicked SoCal, good question. Where is that question? Do I not see it? Oh, we talked about that. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know if it's easier per se, but yeah, the velocity thing is a big point here. Think of it like this, guys. For MPB pitchers, yes, they're facing better hitters if we're like trying to translate whiff rate, but they're also facing pitchers like hitters who try and strike out less. So that whiff percentage doesn't decrease to a degree that is truly detrimental. Whereas for hitters, you expect the whiff rate to go up. You just don't know by how big of a degree. Soto's going to get walked at the lot now that Alonso's gone. Middle of the lineup has no power, and Lindor's leadoff hitter. Mets are a mess. Now they go from 2 wins away from the World Series to this. Yeah, I think they're going to try and upgrade. I don't know what they'll do, but I think they'll try and get better. I hope you're right about this, Drew. Where will Stanton hit his 50th home run with? I think with us. You think he'd be interested in the Yankees? I hope Tucker would be. Any word on meeting with Tucker, Zoom facilities? I have no information on that. None at all. How much longer do you think we're going to deal with Volpe? I think if he's not that good this year's it. And I'm not under the impression he's exactly the safest guy in the world. He's not like super mega safe. I think if the Yankees had an upgrade available, they'd explore it. Let's see. Is Garrett Cole restructuring his contract? No. Yes, it's smaller in Japan. Want to know something crazy? You have a classmate who's related to Yasiel Puig. That's crazy. Imai kind of feels like Boris is trying to package Imai and Belly to the Yankees. We'll see. I like the idea of Seager just because he's better than Bellinger, but also lets you have to play Dominguez without having to hope he replaces production. I agree, and you can bring in a guy who can platoon with him, and you'd be in a really good spot. So yeah, why haven't the Yankees signed anyone yet? Because the guys we're interested in haven't gone off the board. Do you think he'd move to Canada? I don't know if Tucker would move to Canada. Teoscar, don't know. I don't think the Yankees would have any interest in him, and I don't even know if he gets traded. Volpe equals Andujar and Bird after shoulder surgery. Maybe. Drew Thorpe, you're our news source, even if you're just some random guy on the internet. Drew's my guy. Hopefully he's right. Like amongst Japanese hitters, it's basically been Suzuki, who I very much wanted, and Ohtani is the best Japanese hitters to come over to MLB in the last 15 years. You know, Yoshida's been an above-average hitter. I think Yoshida's biggest issue is more defense than anything else. But that's a good point. It's been a lot harder for hitters than it has been for pitchers. Any chance the Angels pull? Any chance Angels pull in Angels and trade Neto? No, I don't think that happens this offseason. But maybe. We'll see. I don't think so. Do you think McMahon stays a Yankee this season? Yes. On the contrary, we're the interest champions. I hope we're not. Polanco might be the best replacement for Volpe until Lombardi cannot field the position. Once Volpe recovers, he'll continue to regress. That's a concern. Would you rather have Tucker or Belly? Tucker. Now, we're going to start wrapping things up in the next, we'll wrap things up the next 10-ish minutes. We really appreciate your guys' continued support here on Fireside Yankees. If you're watching this, make sure, again, you like and subscribe. It's been really awesome getting the support you guys have given us. You guys have been great. Contreras goes to the Mets. Is that real? No. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, I would love James Wood. I agree it's not happening. I agree. I just also want to say the Angels GM is interested in Bellinger and can give him 7 years. Let's look. Let's see. I don't see anything here about that. Yeah, I said it pretty frequently. I'd say 10 years, 360 is a number I think I'd give him top out at. So yeah, top out at number. Oh, Bobby Malone. Let me look at that Bobby Malone tweet. Maybe there's a article attached. Sometimes he attaches articles. Maybe it's just speculation. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, you ended up being right. Yeah, that's a good point. Rodon ended up being a Yankee. What do you see Okamoto as? I see him as a first base / third baseman, maybe a left fielder, but not an everyday left fielder, like a very situational. Say Bellinger comes off the board. What do you think the Mets do and the Yankees do? Mets, I don't think Bellinger is going to be a priority for them. For Bellinger, if the Yankees don't get him, I don't know. 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 Really like McGill. I like McGill a lot too. That being Trevor, not Tyler. Jesus. Yeah, that's actually the number. I'd be willing to go there. What's your opinion on the Yankees not doing deferrals? That's more of a tax thing. It helps the players with their taxes. I know Jeter had deferrals in his contract. I don't think players I don't think teams benefit from as much from it as people think. It's more the player, not the team. I'm praying the issue with Bellinger and the Yankees between years leads them towards pivoting towards Tucker, but it sucks we did nothing in the winter meetings. Yeah, it's boring. It's definitely not good for entertainment value. Do you think the Yankees could trade for Logan O'Hoppe? He's been brutal defensively and very injury prone. So, yeah. I'd be content with the Martian getting full playing time in left field, but he needs to be leading off. I wouldn't want him leading off. At least against lefties, you need a platoon guy for him, I think. Yankees are interested in signing Michael Kopech. Yeah, I saw that. Ryan, who's your top 3 artists on Spotify Rap? I'll check that right now, actually. I'll take a look for you guys. I saw my rap, but I just kind of forgot about like what it was actually. Let's go top artists. Okay, Lil Uzi Vert, Playboy Cardi, and this pianist called Darren Ang. I like piano music. That's like one of my like study like work musics. I'm an Uzi and Cardi guy. I'm a basic kind of guy. What can I say? I'm a basic kind of guy. Those are my top 3. My projection, 10 years, 350. If the Yankees could trade for Seager and not give up Lombard, I think that's the play. They won't do that, though. The Rangers won't trade him. Sign Eugenio Suarez. Oh, no, he can't play second base. I feel like the Red Sox are screwed now. They really need Alonso. I feel like I don't really trust Costa to stay healthy. Well, they could always trade for Ketel Marte. So, yeah. I think that would be, right? Like, that would be, yeah. Are down with OPP. I don't know what that is. What was your worst moment in your Yankee fandom? Game 1 of the World Series. G was able to play Florida Texas instead of NY. Good point. What's your dream Yankee lineup going into 2026? Add Tucker in left field. And put Nico Horner at shortstop. Bellinger wants to be a Yankee. I think it will remain a Yankee. I agree. Contreras was a prediction. Gotcha. Warren, Lane, Cunningham, and Brendan Jones to Peralta McGill, who says no. Maybe the Brewers, but I would do this. Yankees should do that. Belly had the stadium and Judge last year. If he leaves, that he may produce a negative stat year. I think it would decrease in production for sure. Do you see the details about the Michigan head coach did to just get arrested right now? Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, not touching that. Me personally, no, I wouldn't do that. I would try and get a more versatile player. If Jason could lead off against right-handed pitching, would be sick, but probably not happening. I think he could get lead off against righties. And I wouldn't be against it. Look at what Jason Dominguez did this past year against righties. He was like, Jason Dominguez's issue is not hitting versus righties. It's defense and hitting versus lefties. Let's share this screen right here. Share screen. This past year, 348 on base. In his career, 344 on base against lefties. 122 WRC plus. This past year, 116. He's good against. He's a good leadoff option, I think, against righties. I'd keep Dominguez in an instant. He can't feel it saves life. Or I'd trade an instant, judging to rings. So we can't keep wasting time with bad fundamentals. I'm willing to trade him for the right package, but I'm not going to just dump him for nothing. Because again, Giancarlo Stanton, like how many games is Giancarlo Stanton going to play for you this upcoming year? There's reps for Dominguez out there. Tucker's the weekend. Jason is Jason Derulo, or Bellinger is Jason Derulo. That's pretty funny. Cardi's tough. I love Cardi. I do love Playboy Cardi as an artist. If the Yankees get Seager, what does that mean for Volpe's future? Are we already moving on? I don't think the Yankees are against moving on. I just think there's no option available for that. So, yeah. Now it's time to trade Lombard. Maybe. Red Sox could get Devers and have him play first. Oh, wait. Good point. Now I need to know about the piano music on your Spotify. Dude, I'm a big piano guy. I like piano music. Piano music's great. It just kind of keeps me dialed in. I like piano music. So, yeah, sue me. Last question. What happened to the kid they put at second early in the year and then sucks him back down? Yorbit Vivas. Yeah, he's going to stay as probably AAA father. Nigo could play short. Yeah. Yes. He was an elite defensive shortstop before they signed Dansby Swanson and moved him off the position. Not because he wasn't good there. It's because they signed Swanson. Would I crack the rotation? Yes, absolutely. Any thoughts on Marcus Freeman for NYG? I'm not a big enough, I'm not a big enough expert on good head coaches. I wouldn't know if he's good or not. I'd have to defer to the audience or to different people. Goldie is the Mets first baseman have be dying laughing after losing Pete and Diaz. And I'm going to be honest, I think Goldschmidt's kind of on a down and out. Do you think Aaron Boone Brun's a bad head coach? If yes, who would you like to have as the head coach? I'd keep him. I'd keep him around. Give him this year. If he stinks this year, we can revisit this conversation. If the Yankees stink this year, let's revisit the conversation. I'm old enough to remember the Yankees scouting him at Plant High School. Went too early in the draft for us, man. Just went too early. Stan needs to do more yoga. That's funny. Trade for Horner if Cubs sign Bregman. That's definitely possible. Biggest Yankee whiff? I'd say Harper. the contract was super good. Like, at least for Seager, you can say, and I said this before, taxes means the Yankees would have to pay above 325, closer to 350. Harper, like, come on. What happens with Spencer Jones this year? I think he gets traded. What would Volpe make sense in the Brewers trade? I think it would, actually. Roderick Arias is unfortunately not very, very good. Mets or Orioles for King. I'd bet Mets. If Yankees trade for Nico, they would somehow convince themselves not to play him at short. I actually think they would play him at short. I really do. I spoke to DeGrom at a Publix the other day. That's cool. That's pretty sick. Goldie absolutely on the decline. I agree. Sorry, Ryan. The second baseman I was talking about was on Boston. He's a light skin. Yes, Vaughn Grisham. Couldn't field, couldn't hit. Worst combination, not fast. Harper want to be a Yankee, can't buy that. Agreed. Brian Cashman has one more year in his contract. This is 2026. Do you think they extend or move on? I think he retires. Dodgers total payroll was $514 last season. Yeah, including taxes. That's crazy. Do you see a path for LaGrange to be a high leverage pen arm this year? Yes. Yes, for sure. Shit, I think Harper would have gotten us a ring. I agree. It's crazy how you've been live all these days. Not a single move has happened during the time. It's crazy, Felix. It's crazy. I'm going to let you know right now. Not that I wouldn't be happy about this, but if they make a move as soon as I go off live, I'm going to lose my mind. We're going to hop off in the next few minutes. Going to answer these final few questions, and then we'll be over. So, yeah. Have the Yankees hired an international scouting director yet? I don't know. I've heard the Yankees are interested in Michael King. Do you think that's a good idea? Depends on the price. So, yeah. Seager actually grew up a Yankee fan, too. I remember that. I don't know if Cashman leaving is a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on the replacement. Not that I don't think Cashman's good at his job. I do. So, yeah. I think that's a more complex. It's not as simple as like, oh, he's bad. They should kick him out to the curb. Like, come on. I don't know. I'm near Stetson University, and DeGrom likes to work out there in the offseason. He's a quiet guy. Do you think the Stanton trade was a mistake in hindsight? Yes. In hindsight, yes, because you could have signed Harper. But it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not a fair thing to do because Stanton was an MVP. Stanton, his athleticism declined way faster than anyone could have thought. No. I don't think Hal. Do you think Hal ever sells the team? No. Are you planning to do another live stream? I'm planning to do one tomorrow. So yeah. Why would Cashman retire? He's kind of like Andy Martino kind of reported. He's kind of like not. He kind of wants to stop doing this at some point. It's been a long time as GM. Mention sign Michael King. That'd be great for them. I heard that Ryan Garcia will be the head scout of the New York Yankees. Unfortunately, no. No, I can't scout. Love the content insight, brother. Keep going. Love the dailies. Appreciate it, dog. Ryan Garcia for GM. That'd be sick. Are the Yankees making a move tonight, or are we gonna wait it out? I don't know if they're gonna make a move tonight. I'd say I don't think so. But we're gonna wrap things up in a few here. Now, if the Yankees do make a move, I'll hop back and get live again. There's cash and Cashman names, so sign everyone for $1 billion. I'm joking. That'd be fun. Stan went from center fielder to wheelchair very quick. Yep, good point. Who sells first? Steinbrenner's or the Maras? The team will stay with the Steinbrenner family. Then we'll move on to Steve Swindoll Jr. Fair prediction. Yeah, Ryan, we'll do another stream at midnight. If the Yankees sign someone at midnight, yeah, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Dude, if it comes in at 2 a.m., I'll be live. If I'm awake and it happens, I got a complete asshole fake tweet. You all need to see. No, you know what? No, I got faked out so hard. Somebody sent me this, and it was in a group chat. Asshole move. Just an asshole move on the tweet. Yeah, I think Dombrowski's good at his job. We want Ryan to work for the Yankees. I'm a fan. It's hard. Like, you can't. Fans aren't good for this, right? Fans are bad at this. You cannot have fans work it like that because they're emotional. I'm emotional. I'm an emotional guy. So yeah. Dombrowski, yeah, we talked about this. I don't know about that. Do tell. Yeah, I got fucking trolled. Help, that's manifesting. Yeah, dude, I saw it and I felt my heart drop. I'm not an ordinary fan. That's like, I think I'm a crazed fan. I'm more invested. But I think I'm too, like, the investment is both emotional and work related. So yeah. I think George is such a great analogy for this. George Steinbrenner was a fan, and George did a lot of impulsive things because he was a fan. Now, granted, I'm not the owner of the Yankees in this scenario, but yeah, I do think, I do think it's a little bit different. I think it's a little bit different. Now we're going to start wrapping things up here again on Fireside Yankees. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. it will go live again if the Yankees make a move. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see, guys. We'll see. Again, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, share with a fan, share with a friend, or I guess a Yankee fan. Yeah, it works. Share with a friend. And yeah, we appreciate you guys so much. Keep subscribing. We want to get to 30,000 subscribers. Peace out, everybody. Love y'all. Let's go Yanks, baby. Let's go Yanks.
Perfect.